is a difference in the types of armor we can equip. So there's quite a few sets that are female only and quite a few sets that are male only. I would suggest looking these up on the wiki if you're more curious. In general, a lot of the beefier kind of armor type sets are going to be male only. The female sets have some really cool caster type looking sets. The witch set, for example, looks very aesthetically pleasing if you're running a caster type character. We're going for that beefiness, so we're going to be going for a male character. Now, as for the starting class here, the two most common, I think, are Royalty and Temple Knight. Royalty comes with a ring that will regen your MP, so if you're going to be playing as a caster of any sort, it is a very powerful ring to start the game with. Temple Knight has the advantage of already having its Faith at 13, which is going to be great, so we can meet the requirement on the Talisman we're going to be aiming to get to cast things like Second Chance or Cursed Weapon. On top of that, it just has a very nice split of stats, both strength and dexterity already at decent levels, which should meet some of the requirements for early weapons. With that being said, feel free to go with whatever you want. You know, if you want to start with the big club, go for Barbarian. If you want to start with the axe, go for Hunter. We're going to be changing up our weapon pretty early on, so keep that in mind. More than anything, your starter class is going to be about the starting stats that you have. So we're going to be going with Temple Knight here. As for our starting gift, I would suggest the Providential Ring. Simply because all this other stuff is consumables that we can get everywhere, whereas the ring obviously has advantages. I'm also going to be turning off the deluxe items bundle so that I don't have any type of advantage over another player that doesn't have access to that. So we're going to be doing a strength build. We'll go with this. This looks nice and strength friendly. But I am going to get rid of some of those scars. My dude has scars all over. There we go. Let's just go for that scar. That one looks good. Then maybe change his nose up a little bit. Give him a smaller nose. There we go. No, maybe his ears too. His ears are a little big on the ears. There we go. All right, he's looking good. And since we're going to be going for a big old smash build, give him the appropriate name.
King Allied the 12th, by channeling the power of souls, brought unprecedented prosperity to his northern kingdom of Belladonna.
Rolls are based around your equipment burden and demon souls. There are two thresholds, and the threshold is at 50%. So anything above 50%, between 50.1 all the way up to 100, we have what's known as a bat roll. If we were to take off a couple pieces of gear, is a light or normal roll. Now, in later Souls games, they made 3 different tiers, but in the early games at least, that was all you had access to. There is no, light, medium, heavy. So keep that in mind. In general, I would suggest taking the armor off because it's more worthwhile to just dodge an attack and not get hit whatsoever than it is to take an attack and get hit in the face. Especially because as the game goes on, certain bosses are really hard and you don't want to be taking those hits. But the early tutorial is really not all that much here. Just a couple more grass items we're going to grab. We get a couple on subsequent journeys. Feel free to skip it. First one, the main reason we're going through this is you have to, for starters. But there is some early items if we beat the initial starter boss here. Another thing I want to point out is we can now pause the game. Now, pausing is something we couldn't previously do in Souls games, and technically it's not a pause, but it is photo mode. So just to touch on that briefly here, what I would suggest doing over in settings here is go to controller and controls and set half of your touchpad up for photo mode. The tool belt brings up everything, so we can have the items here, we can do messages, gestures, and photo mode, but just having photo mode on a button is very convenient. That way, if you're trying to experience this game, you got kids, you got to pause the game, now you can pause it. Another big point, if you did take a Temple Knight class, weapons like the halberd, they're really on the weapon. So if we hit somebody at the end of the halberd, we'll get a slightly higher damage hit off because it's considered a sweet spot attack. Not every weapon has a sweet spot, but basically the gist is you want to try and hit with the part of your weapon that looks like it would do the most damage. And in this case, that's obviously the bladed end of the halberd. So after you grab that grass through here, got a couple more baddies we got to take out. See, for example, how I did 74 there on the running attack, that was a non-sweet spot hit. There should be another one right here that I actually show a sweet spot on. Oh, missed it again. Oh well. The point is, it takes practice, but your spacing is going to be important here. As a Blue Knight, keep it down like that. Some two-handing my weapon, you're going to get more damage in two-handing your weapon. As you can see, my attack was 105. If I make it one-handed and I go over, it's 102. So it's not a massive difference, but two-handing your weapon is usually going to get you a little more damage. On top of that, when you two-hand a weapon, your strength goes up by 1.5. So what I mean by this is if a weapon requires 30 strength for you to use, you can two-hand that weapon with only 20 strength. Because you take your strength and you multiply it by 1.5, and then you get your strength with two-handed. It makes sense. It's like you're holding something with both hands. Pick up this. This way. Head on up. 2 more baddies to kill. 1 past the fog gate. And then the tutorial modes. This dude, too busy playing with his crossbow, doesn't even see us coming up on him. If you're feeling extra, go for a parry off. And those look good. Alright, so up next we have our first boss, and this is the Vanguard. Vanguard is a pretty easy fight, but he can pretty much instant-kill you. If you mess up here, he's going to kill you. What I would recommend is you pretty much just want to stay on his butt. Just stay right behind him, keep attacking the butt. Delay your rolls a little bit, because he has kind of a slow swing. And then you just get behind him, and you keep attacking. You don't need to necessarily roll. If you're in the middle of an attack, you might want to roll. Otherwise, you just walk back how you see me doing.
What the fuck? I can't even get a fucking hit! Fuck was that?
And now we end up in the Nexus. Okay. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice is that our health is half of what it used to be. Right now, we are in what's known as soul form. You need to be in soul form when you're doing co-op or when you're trying to invade another player. But soul form is important, and the majority of our game is going to be played in soul form. And that's because soul form will have no impact on world tendency. I've had a lot of people already asking me about this, but this is a system unique to Demon Souls. We have world tendency and we have character tendency. The basic idea is it can go up 3 and it'll become pure white, or it can go down 3 and it can become pure black. Each of the worlds has an individual tendency that will be based on action. Die, we're moving the world towards black. If we invade someone when we kill them, we're moving our character towards black. So getting black is very easy, which is why we want to get white tendency first. So if you killed Vanguard, go over here, upgrade your starting weapon. In our case, it's the halberd.
Hunter.
Now, this isn't absolutely necessary, but it will make the very first bit of the gates a lot easier, just because we'll be able to one-shot these drakes. So I do think that's worth doing. Really cool cutscene that we're unfortunately going to skip. I don't want to wear my armor. If I was to wear my armor, I'd have to just wear the armor. So I could be a pantsless warrior, or I could have no chest armor. We're going with the chest armor. So the reason we upgraded the halberd, as you can see, 92 damage now. Pretty much just enough damage that were able to kill these guys in one hit. If you didn't upgrade it, it would take another little bit to take them out. So right at the very start here, we have some stuff in the back. Go grab that real fast. Running, I am going to adjust my notes here. If you're curious how these walkthroughs are made, we actually are in the process of streaming all the prep we do. Note-taking, all the fight testing, figuring out strategy, stuff like that. Pretty interesting process. So on the note of world tendency again, here's a perfect example. This gate, you can't interact with it whatsoever. If you get the world, you're pure white, pure black, that gate will just open up. So that's an example of a tendency event. And then after getting the gate open, obviously there's a bunch of loot over there. There's a crystal lizard. There's other stuff that I won't go into right now, but a bunch of stuff that we can do. Like the tendency up. These baddies. Swing around here and run right up under this guy. But right down here, he has a lot of trouble shooting you. So we can stay here, wait for the dragon. And now with that kill this guy. Also, there's no plunging attack in Demon's Souls. You'll just land and attack, so keep that in mind. I know that looks pretty down there, but don't go down there. Not gonna have a good time. Go over here and hit to the right. And then go over here and attack again.
Oh my god, dude.
Look right here. It's honestly like sad how much I'm like a robot going through this. So kill them and go through the fog. Alright, so down here we have the and the Mailbreaker. I don't really use the Mailbreaker for anything. You can use it as like a parrying offhand, but shield can also be used to parry. This part, there's a guy that's going to try and ambush us. So just come down right over to here. So that guy's above us throwing the fire bombs, which is why we wanted to get underneath this platform. That way we can take out these hollows without worrying about bombs being chucked down on top of us. We're going to get that item out a little bit. Don't worry about it for now. Okay. Now right here, this is going to be a trap, so go about a little ways up, and once the ball rolls, walk back down. And you can go over here to grab this, and then you can go here to grab the Bastard Sword. While I'm not a fan of the Mailbreaker, the Bastard Sword is actually a pretty nice choice. I wouldn't invest too much into it though, because a little bit later we can get access to the Claymore, which is basically the same moveset as the Bastard Sword, but it is much larger. Like the reach on it is significant. We'll just say that. Ooh. Super armor knife. Anytime you're fighting these guys, use look up. One strategy you can do is just walk behind them and backstab, and it works pretty well. As you can see, most of his health is gone now. But those knights are good to farm. They're worth early on. Those knights are worth. They always drop half moongrass. Which, on the note of grass, let's talk briefly because we picked up some full moongrass already. What I would suggest doing, and this will save you a lot of time in the end game, is with your full moongrass or your dark grass or any of that stuff, go ahead and send it to storage when you get it, because your wick. If we look over here, not only do we have equipment burden in Demon Souls, we have item burden. Now they have changed it so that if we pick up something that we are unable to carry, we can just send it directly back to the stash, which is a nice quality of life change. But at the same time, if you pick up something and you send it to the stash and it was something that you want to put on, well, then you're kind of out of luck. So it's good to be able to, you want to keep that a little bit lower. Plus, you want to be able to, if you pick up once that fire was done, that would have been very embarrassing, especially because we're coming up on a shortcut. You want to be able to use your healing stuff as you pick it up. So any of your heavier healing stuff, I would suggest getting rid of that stuff. No, what am I doing here? Fire resin. All right, put on your fire bombs. We're going to be using those in just a little bit here. Go out here and break these chains. Just attack them. What you want to do is aim at that group and throw a firebomb. And then if you can, aim at him and throw a firebomb. Oh, I didn't get all of them. What you're trying to do is hit those barrels and blow them up and kill all of them. Didn't quite work. That's all right, though. So hit this, pop it on open. And the clean ring. Now, it may seem like, how are we supposed to play this game? We only have half of our health, and that's what the cling ring is for. It's going to boost us up a little bit. It's not going to be ton, but as you can see, we're closer to having like 75% of our health now. So go ahead and heal on up. We got on time. 20 minutes? Yeah, let's keep pushing this. So this next part, we're going to make our way back up. We now have this shortcut unlocked, so if we die, it's not that bad. And there is a chance we're going to die because I'm going to try and do something that I probably shouldn't do. We're going to try and kill the Red Knight right now, doing backstab sheets. Back up top, and you'll remember that when we got up top, we immediately turned, which actually there's one item I didn't grab, so grab that on the way real fast. Before the fog, go down this way. Pick up this crossbow. And then right in here is one of the guys that was throwing bombs earlier. Back up top. him. We got 2 more. Here's up ahead. And some half-moon grass over there. Now, as opposed to the blue knights up ahead, we have what's known as a red-eye knight. These guys are significantly harder. It is not hard for this guy to kill you. So just something to keep in mind. If this guy gets the chance, he will kill you. Come over here, grab the unknown hero soul. And then what I'd suggest doing is we're actually going to bring this guy back. We're going to bring him back nice and far here, just so that if we do die in this battle, we don't need to run past everything. We're going to try and lure him back to where he's a lot closer to the shortcut. And if we can get him all the way over there, one thing we might be able to do is just kick him off the ledge, which is much safer than trying to kill him traditionally. I don't know if he'll come that far. No, he might. He's still coming. Come on, buddy. No, you're not. Oh, look at him. His pathing is getting a little bit better. So when I'm talking about pushing, it's forward and R1 at the same time. No, you're stuck. Come on, over this way. Over this way. There we go. Come on. Come on, we're almost home. Just think of him like a lost puppy. Puppy that unfortunately is going to have an accident. Like the jiggle made him angry. Oh boy.
Get the...
Look at that.
Keep forgetting! Ow!
What's for us? Oh boy.
I keep forgetting this fucking...
Not only to that. Oh. Did he just kill himself for us? I think he did.